So space
Yes.
is apparently holding conditioning, which is also made of space.
Yes.
Now, just for a moment, as warm compassion, just adore that space as the body
Right.
was willing to give you that service. It was willing to contract
Yes.
so you could play a role.
Yes.
Conditioning was willing to come out of its naturalness,
Mm-hmm.
allow itself to be imprinted in service to you experiencing. Now it's all tired, right? Yeah. So just for a moment, just adore it.
Yeah, I can see that's pure compassion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what
It was
is
beautiful.
felt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. So I guess, what comes here is that so feminine. And I just remembered again reading, as I flicked through this book, there is a chapter also on Eckhart Tolle in there, and he said, women are so much closer to enlightenment than a man. And I thought that's kind of curious. How are we closer? He said because we apparently are closer to our hearts, and that's what I just felt very strong when you said that.
I mean,
this
I think
embracing,
all beings are close to enlightenment because we're just pretending not to be our naturalness.
Yeah.
And so this bringing wisdom can bring us half the way, so to speak. We realize we're not who we thought we were,
Yes.
and that actually nothing is what it appears to be.
Right.
But then in the seeing of the even the grace in the movement of identification, or the grace in the movement of separation, or the grace in the whole play, then there can be a softening, and it's spontaneous.
Yes.
And then the body just invites us to permeate, because there was a price paid for contracting. There was an apparent price paid for playing the role.
Yes.
The experience of separation from happiness and naturalness.
Right.
So here we can just sort of like bowing in gratitude.
Yes.
Even this mind that is just the supreme intelligence contracted into a small object to give us identification services. And I could just thank it, because it did suffer.
Yes. Yeah.
And anything I bring this warm touch or warm gaze to returns to its naturalness.
Yes.
Before I was bringing harsh wisdom to everything, and everything would tighten. So this is just the other play.
I mean, that shows me actually that what you just said reminds me that it is so important that we stop in our lives to become aware of this, to make all this, bring all that in our awareness and in our love, and embrace it all. But we are running all.
Big
all
rush.
the time. Big rush.
Big rush.
But I guess we are, as a human race, in a very challenging time in the moment. And I don't know how you see that from where you look at. But I think we have a big wake-up call. Looking back to your process, would you say that anything you did helped you to wake up? Or would you say it was just... Because a lot of people we have here on Conscious TV said nothing works. You cannot do anything. It's just all grace.
But you see, maybe we could expand our idea of what grace is.
Yes.
Because there's a grace in frustration, and there's a grace in dissatisfaction, and there's a grace in unhappiness, and there's a grace in exhaustion. And I once heard somebody say a long time ago, a really ancient sage said that the sole purpose of spiritual practice was to keep the mind from taking the body away from the sage.
Yes.
That really, if you can hang out with somebody who's already resting, it's like the fastest way home. Because everyone else will give you homework, yeah? Right. And in the old days, apparently people needed homework.
Yeah.
Because then the mind would say, okay, I'm getting some value here, we're making some progress, and wouldn't take the innocent one away from the sage. Because really it's all just about the deep resting invitation that is a sage.
Yes.
And it's nothing fancy. It's like you can go sit with a tree, and if you really can feel the tree, so to speak, or relax into that which it's offering, it's the same thing.
Right.
As you said, stopping, slowing down.
Yes.
Just be here.
But how can you get the mind to rest?
Oh, actually, it's really simple.
Oh.
Because the mind is agitated because it's seeking rest, right?
Yes.
But it's looking for rest in the world. It's not looking for rest at the center of its very own self.
Right.
Yeah. So it's looking for more wisdom to add, or clarity, or releasing, and so it got itself tied up in a little yogic knot up here. Yeah. But we know the mind is intelligent. It's also
sometimes if you look at the human race,
doesn't look
close
intelligent.
to extinction, doesn't look intelligent.
Oh well,
it can be intelligent. Yeah.
Well, if it's formless, the mind.
Yes.
See, you can only condition something that has a form.
Yes.
Yeah? The mind has no form. So it's pretending to be conditioned. It's pretending to be limited.
Yes.
It actually never was conditioned. So it's not what it appears to be. But the play is, you can only meet it with respect. And then it will show you its true nature. If you try and pressure the mind in any way, it'll push back, right?
Right.
Just like all of us.
Yes.
Yeah. So just in this moment, bow to your mind.
Right. It makes it collapse. But how am I going to finish the interview?
This is funny. Yeah, but you need mind to function.
It just was literally.
There you go. Yeah.
Finally, I can relax.
That's it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We ask nothing of it, but just honor it, and it finds its own way. I mean, So.
But do we not need to think about things?
Okay. Right now, does the breath think in order to breathe?
No.
No
bodily functions.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Big clue. Do mountains think?
Yeah.
How to be a mountain? No. So that's just a little bit of the habit we were trained.
Yes.
Actually, we were even frightened into thinking in school.
Yes.
And into